We had so much fun the first time, figured I'd spin the block for another one. Let's do it. NXT Who's Next review.
All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Woo! What's up, everybody? It's your boy Virgil back again with another edition of Who's Next on NXT. That's right, your NXT review for May 6th, 2025. Appreciate each and every last one of you joining in. We are live from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, for another edition. This edition of NXT Who's Next, we're going to find out who Obafemi will defend his NXT championship against in Battleground in a 24-man battle. I'm sorry, a number one contenders 25-man battle royal. And then after that, we also will see Hendry also on this show, tagging with Hank and Tank. And then we will also decide who is Stephanie Vaquer's next challenger for the NXT Women's Championship. So many big things, so many cool moments right here on NXT. So let's start the show. First and foremost, we're live with Vic Joseph, Booker T, Corey Graves, greeting the audience as Hank and Tank make their way to the ring. And then after that, say his name and he appears. I believe in Hendry. I believe in Hendry. That's right, everybody. Hendry is back on NXT, his home, away from home. Man, I feel like we've seen him on WWE television just as much as we've seen him on TNA television. And he is still your TNA world champion. Super excited for what they're doing with Hendry. I know when he does finally come over to WWE, it's going to be a huge moment. The fact that he's already been in a huge spot, a huge moment at WrestleMania, just lets me know that once this TNA contract is over with, Hendry is WWE bound, and he ain't even going to NXT because he's technically already in NXT now. All right. So from there, we move. We have Dark State that comes out after them, and they make their entrance, obviously, through the crowd with the lights flickering on and off, right? Dark State blindside Walker, Ledger, and Hendry. The bell rings, and it's Dion Lennox in the ring against Ledger. Like I said, and they work back and forth doing some tag moves and whatnot. Walker tags in and connects with the double axe handle off the middle rope on James. Then James responds with a back elbow and jams his knee into Walker's face. Lennox tags in and levels Walker with a back elbow of his own. Then rocks Walker with a boot to the face. Another cool moment, obviously, was when Hendry finally tagged into the match. He landed a double axe handle on Lennox. Then he tagged in Ledger. Griffin and Ledger tag in, and Griffin wears down Ledger. And they work their way back through the side. Like I said, then the big spot in the match happened when Griffin delivered a power slam to Walker, but Ledger and Lennox tagged in. And then Hendry lands a fallaway slam on James, but Trick Williams shows up, pulls Hendry out the ring, and brawls with him to the back. Lennox delivers a chop block to Ledger in the ring, opening the door for James and Griffin to toss Ledger over to Lennox to deliver a power bomb, and for the win, Dark State picks up the win. Like I said, the match itself was pretty good. I thought that Hendry and Hank and Tank had some chemistry, but obviously this is more building towards Dark State winning those NXT Tag Team Championships, which I do think is coming sooner rather than later. I don't know that Hank and Tank will hold those titles for much longer. After that, and also, like I said, we Trick Williams and Hendry getting in each other's business is nothing new. Trick Williams came down trying to take out Hendry. Joe fought him off. They fought to the back. Joe, like I said, was not there to be able to help his team. Then we move on to the next match. Kani Jordan then makes her way to the ring. Zarya and Soul Roka follow after her. The bell rings and Kaylani lands a drop kick on Zarya. Zarya rocks Jordan with a forearm. They go back and forth, back and forth. Jordan sets up for a power bomb, but Jordan escapes. Zarya catches Jordan and sets her up for a power bomb, but then she escapes from that. Zarya kicks out. Zarya fires off shoulders on Jordan's midsection in the corner. Um, One of the high spots of the match, Jordan dumps Zarya outside the ring, then delivers a crossbody to her and fires off knees on her spine. This was a real hard hitting match. Zarya whips Jordan into the corner, but Jordan pulls Zarya off the top rope and levels her with a pair of back elbows. Um, Zarya delivers a spear to Jordan, but Jordan delivers a springboard moonsault to Zarya on the outside. Zarya spears Jordan through the barricade, then dumps her back into the ring and follows it up with Brock Lesnar's move, the F5, for the win. And your winner, Zarya. Um, Good match, hard hitting match between these two. Definitely not what you expected, but again, all in all, a really good match between them. And next up, guys, they ain't wasting no time. I thought this would have been the main event. Trick Williams makes his way down to the ring along with the rest of the competitors of WWE and NXT. Um, for the number one contenders battle royal to decide who gets Obafemi next at Battleground for the NXT championship, including the former WWE star known as Elias, but now he needs to know who wants to walk with Elijah. That's right. That's right. The crowd popped hard for Elias. Even gave him his old chant. Oh, walk with Elias. Oh, walk with Elias. Um, he quickly corrected them and was like, "My name is Elijah." And like I said, he still did the same gimmick though, walked to the ring with the guitar and everything like that. As soon as this battle royal started, Ethan Page immediately slides out the ring, still healing it up. He stares down Elijah as the bell rings and everyone else begins brawling. Shiloh Hill eliminates Chris Island and Lexis King. Um, and then Charlie Dempsey gets eliminated by Elijah. And then Bradford Baylor and Ashanti, the Adonis both get eliminated as Hill hangs on. And then after that, Wentz lands a double stomp on Smoke's spine and tosses him over the top rope to eliminate him, and out goes Ricky Smokes. Then after that, Sean Spears rocks Briggs with the back elbow and lands a boot on DuPont. I'm sorry, I said DuPont. Then dumps him over the top rope to eliminate him, and Tyson DuPont is out of the match. Then after that, Page sends Thatcher crashing over the top rope to eliminate him. Timothy Thatcher is out. Then Nico Vance is clotheslined over the top rope by Hill, who eliminates him. Then Williams delivers a boot to Hill to send him to the back. Shiloh Hill is eliminated. Tariq Igwe and Brooks Jensen are both eliminated as Heights send Lee crashing into the mat face first, and Jensen sends himself and Igwe crashing over the top rope to eliminate both of them. Next thing you know, after that, Inamura looks to eliminate Holland, but ends up eliminating Briggs. Holliton D clocks in a more from behind, and Josh Briggs is eliminated. Then after that, it looks like Evans is hanging on by a thread, but then Wentz and Lee are dumped over the top by Page and Spears. But the three men return to the ring. Page eliminates Wentz, and Zachary Wentz is out. Next thing you know, Wes Lee is out after Trick lands his patented trick shot on him. Williams begins to beat down Bourne in the corner as Legacy fires off right hands on Inamura. It looks like Williams clotheslines Inamura and Holland over the top rope to eliminate them both. And Yoshiki Inamura and Ridge Holland are both eliminated. Then next thing you know, Joe Hendry's music hits and Hendry makes his way out. This opens the door for Elijah to eliminate Trick Williams, who then brawls up the entrance ramp with Hendry. Spears takes advantage of a distracted Elijah and eliminates him. So now you're down to Evans, who is brawling with Legacy. Legacy low blows him. But then Ethan Page gets back into the match. Ethan Page hangs on, and Evans rocks Legacy with the kick. Page low bridges Legacy out of the ring to eliminate him. Sean Legacy is gone. We're down to 4. Evans, Spears, Page, and Bourne. Bourne brawls with Page. Evans and Spears get going with each other. Spears and Page then send Evans crashing over the top rope onto the floor. Javon Evans is gone after that. And then last but not least, um, Page is in the ring. Sean Spears is in the ring. And Miles Bourne is in the ring. Page looks to eliminate Spears, but Spears hangs on. Bourne then managed to eliminate Page, who takes out Spears in the process. And your winner and new number 1 contender, Randy Orton's son, Miles Bourne. After the match, no quarter catch crew joins Bourne in the ring, but Dempsey noticeably remains outside of the ring because he's pissed off. Next up, guys, we have Jada Parker, who makes her way out to the ring, and then after that, Carmen Petravich comes out after. Everybody's singing Miss Parker, Miss Parker. If you guys watch our Sunday show, if you watch the AEW show, then you know Big Daddy C loves him some Miss Parker. Jada Parker is his favorite. I personally think she's talented in the ring. I do think she's still a little very green. She still got some growing before she can, get up there with the likes of a Bianca Belair or, a Trinity Fatu or anything like that. But like I said, she's making her way. She'll make her way. She'll figure it out. The bell rings and the two lock up. Parker levels Petravich with a body slam. Literally, Parker basically used her height and her strength this whole match and was very, very aggressive. I love the aggressiveness that she had in this match. Patrick landed a series of strikes on Parker and ascends to the middle rope, then connects with the sling blade on her and goes for the win. Parker kicks out and delivers a hip attack on Petravich for the win. After the match, Parker continues beating down Petravich and looks to land a hip attack on her, but Thea Hale appears out of nowhere, and Parker ends up landing the hip attack on her instead. And obviously, you hear Parker saying, "Hey, you should have mind your own business. Should have stayed out of my business because, like I said, this had nothing to do with you." Next thing you know, we come back from commercial break. We head over to Ava's office where she informs Joe Hendry that he will be, for the first time ever, defending his TNA World Championship against Trick Williams at NXT Battleground. Cannot wait for that. It's going to be super exciting to see what they do with that match. After the break, we head backstage where you see Yoshiki and Amora informing Josh Briggs that he's leaving NXT to head back to Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah. Brooks Jensen and the rest of the culling approach Briggs, questioning if he's the real problem. Then when we get back, then we head backstage to No Quarter Catch Crew, where Charlie Dempsey tries tricking Miles Bourne into giving him his NXT championship shot at Battleground for the good of the group. But Obafemi walks in, prompting Bourne to suggest that Femi face Dempsey next week in a match. So we'll get to see Charlie Dempsey versus Dirula Obafemi next week. So that'll be fun to watch. And now, y'all, it's time for our main event. That's right, Julia versus Jordynne Grace in the number 1 contenders match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, will it be the Juggernaut going up against up against Stephanie Valker, or will it be Julia going up against Stephanie Valker at NXT Battleground? So the bell rings and Grace fires off 4 arms on Julia in the corner. She sends her crashing into the mat, shoulder first, and then, like I said, she hits her with an STO to Grace and sends her crashing into the top turnbuckle face first. Julia drop kicks Grace, but Grace trips Julia on the apron. They really worked stiff in this match. And like I said, these women both worked very, very stiff. We saw Grace land a spine buster on Julia, but Julia locks in a Juliatine on Grace as she continues wearing down her neck. Grace powers up to her feet with this amazing strength feet right there, and then takes down Julia with the belly to belly suplex. She follows it up with a pair of body slams and a Mickey Nochu driver on Julia, then lands a superplex on her and immediately transitions into the jackhammer from there. Julia spikes Grace with the DDT, then sends her crashing into the mat with a Falcon Arrow and goes for the pin. Grace kicks out at 2, then sends Julia crashing into the mat with a variation of a German suplex. Then she follows it up with the Grace driver for the win. And your winner and new number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship, has been a long time coming. These two are going to be having it out for years to come, but it's going to be Jordynne Grace versus Stephanie Valkyrie, whose music hits right after this. And she makes her way to the ring. She stares down Grace as she holds up her NXT Championship, and the show goes off the air. So that was your NXT Who's Next recap for May 6, 2025. Appreciate you all for tuning in and watching. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you guys think about NXT. Let me know what you guys think about these stars, then who's next to come up to the WWE and make an impact. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, this has been your host, Virgil. Appreciate you. Stay tuned. AEW is coming up next with Big Daddy C, and he will have you from there. And then, of course, don't forget Friday, Fritos has you going for an episode also. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe. Peace.